everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. And today on the Art Joy of Sharing live stream show over on Art Joy of Sharing live stream channel, Peg and I decided to do altered tags. So we were talking about altered tags, and then we were talking about a group that we both belong to that's run by Sherry Whitfield called Tag It Tuesday. And we decided to do the January challenge for Tag It Tuesday and also add a bit of grunge for our hashtag AJOS Grunge Revival, which is our theme at Art Joy of Sharing Art Community and our live stream all month. So, just because something has colors other than brown, black, and gray, it can still be grungy. Grungy just means it looks a little worn, it looks a little tattered, a little vintage. Maybe it's been in the closet, the corner of the closet, wadded up. Maybe it's been rescued from the street corner where it's been laying for a while. Can still be bright colored and also be grungy. That's what I'm saying. So, one way to really start out with some of that distressed grungy look is to use a distress product. And these are from Ranger Company, and the designer who promotes and designs them is Tim Holtz. And he just likes things that are a little bit beat up and a little bit vintagey. That's his jam, that's his vibe. So I decided to start with distress oxide inks, and I also have a distress spray. On this challenge, there was a couple colors, and those colors are pale pink and pea green. And so I picked worn lipstick and peeled paint colors in distress oxide. And I put them down on my mat like you do. This is a silicone mat. And then I sprayed a little water on them. I dipped my tags in there, dried them, dipped them a little bit more, trying to get that worn, spotty, looks like maybe it got a little water on it, maybe it got a little mold, that type of look. And I did one that was just the manila tag, and I thought that perhaps it looked a little bit yellow from the color of the manila card. And so I did another one where I put white gesso on it first. And I'm not sure that it made that much difference. The patterns on the gessoed one are different because there's a little bit of brush strokes and things in there that were able to catch the ink and make it a little bit more spotty. Whereas the manila tag on the right hand side absorbed more. So they're similar in color, didn't really change the color much, but it did change the style of what came out with the pressing the tag into the wet ink. The first step, other than the colors, is to apply paint using a toilet tube or other paper tube. So I grabbed the insides of a toilet paper roll, and I had this sponge roller. So I put the toilet paper roll over the sponge onto the roller so that I wouldn't be like rolling my hands into it and getting all messy. And I wrapped it with some of this seam binding, which to me is just colorable ribbon. You can spray it and make it any color you want. So I thought that would be kind of a twofer. By rolling it in the paint, I would be coloring the ribbon as well as getting some of that pale pink paint onto the card. That's what I thought. I also removed it and used the end to make some round shapes using some light olive acrylic paint. So just adding another layer of the pinks and the greens that are going for this challenge this month. And I also I felt like I needed to darken the edges a little bit. So I used an ink blending tool and some distress ink in walnut stain around the edges. And then I also took the little pad and drug it around the edges as well, just to make them look a little bit more worn down and vintagey, because they still need a little something something. I also used a splatter stamp and stamped a little bit of that onto the tags as well with that darker brown color. Distress inks and distress oxides, they don't dry permanent, so I do get a little bit of a mess onto my table. I have to clean up a lot. I took some of the distress oxide spray in pink not pink, picked raspberry. These names are hard for me to say sometimes. And spritzed a little bit of that on the ribbon as well as onto the tags. And also I just used what was left on my palette of the light olive green and got a little bit of that on there too, just to make my ribbon that I'm going to use in the tags a little bit interesting. And I set it aside to dry. Then, let's see, the next thing was to use something from the opposite season, and of course it's winter right now. So the opposite season would be summer, and in the summer, I think of green grass and blue sky and butterflies and flowers. I guess that's also spring kind of too, but spring and summer, I think. So, at least, well, not late into the summer because then it gets way too hot for anything, but right at the beginning, you've got all the pretty flowers and everything. So I decided to grab some different things that I had pulled out from my boxes of things that I just have, you know. And one of them I found was this interesting flower. It's on a piece of lightweight tag and it's heavier than I usually would use. Also, it's cut out, but it's not cut out close to the lines. It has a white border around it. I don't like that. So I cut all around it and took the white border off. And then I glued it onto one of my tags with some craft glue. And then on the other one, I had some stickers, and one of them was this little picket fence, which I thought was kind of cute. And I trimmed some of the white off that and stuck it down with a little bit of Yoo-hoo glue stick just to make sure that it was stuck well. The next one was to add newspaper. I don't have newspaper. I don't buy newspaper, and so I used some of this newsprint looking tissue. It looks like want ads and lists of things that you might see in a newspaper. That's what it's supposed to be, but it's printed on tissue paper and you buy it in a roll. So I grabbed a couple pieces of that and I put them down with fluid matte medium because that makes them translucent so that the colors on the tag itself shine through and you can still see the pinks and greens and all the interesting pattern that I got with the Distress Oxide ink. And then I did a little bit of stamping with a grungy, I don't know what this thing is supposed to be. It's got circles on it and they're very grungy looking. So I stamped with the black VersaFine on there just to add some of that black that was coming through on the tissue paper around the rest of the tag. The next thing on the prompt list was to add something another artist gave you. Now, if you do swaps, if you exchange things with people, you usually have a collection of little things that people have sent. Maybe they sent you a card and they put some die cuts or some little printed things or whatever in there, and they tend to pile up, so I have a box. So I had pulled out some things that other people have sent me, and one of them was this strip of 3 hearts that were printed on a piece of paper. And I decided to use that one on the flower tag. And then I have this, it's felt and it's embroidered, but it's a sticker. So it's sticky on the back, it's felt, and then the little girl in the dress has been embroidered onto it. And I thought it was super cute and the right color. So I stuck that on my tag. And it's like she's coming from somewhere and she's walking past the fence coming towards you. I also put a couple more of the stickers from that same sticker sheet, a little pot of flowers, and some of the butterflies on the tag. Same sticker sheet. I don't know where it came from. I think somebody gave it to me. And then I had this fabric hat sticker. That's a pink hat with a green thing on it and a little rose, excuse me. Kind of got the hiccups. And it was too big, but it was the right colors, and so I trimmed it down and glued that on there and gave her a little bit of a hat, like a sun hat that's protecting her very pale skin. Then I got some cardstock for backers. I like to put cardstock a layer it gives my tags a frame and also covers up the back, which I always get really yucky with whatever I'm putting on the front. Always gets on the back too. And so I like to just cover it up by making this extra cardstock layer. So I picked kind of a pink color for one and a green for the other. Hadn't intended to make two tags, but that's just how it worked out today. So trim the corners, punch the holes, and I've got those glued on there with craft glue. And I think that they just look so much better that way. Then a little bit of finishing. I've got the Pentel brush, color brush with a sepia toned watercolor ink in it. And I'm going around the edges and blending that with my water brush, my water tank brush, to add a shadow around the edge of the flower and make it stand out from the background a little bit more. I also did that a little bit on my little girl tag as well. Not as much because she does have the white around the edges of her. I didn't trim it off because it was felt and it was sewn. You know, it was embroidered onto there. And I felt like if I got it too close to those lines of embroidery that I might accidentally unstitch them. You know, cut off the stitching and make it unravel. So I just left the white border around that sticker. I'm not a fan of those white borders that come on stickers. Just not a fan. But I did give her some place to stand because I don't like it when things are floating and I think she needs ground to stand on. At some point I went around the top of the hat just to make it stand out from the background a little bit more. The butterflies, around some of the flowers and things. And I got a pencil. This is a brown Inktense pencil. And drew some interesting lines around the heart. It already had some sketchy lines around it, so I just kind of emphasized that look of the little heart because I thought it was interesting. And also adding in a lot of white highlights with my white Posca pen. This has acrylic ink in it. It's opaque, so I can put that white on there and really give a strong highlight. I also use that to splatter on that tag. And on the other tag, I used the white pen a little bit, but not very much, actually. Only just a tiny bit. I got out some letter stamps and stamped the word love on the heart with that VersaFine Clair ink. And then I got a different set of stamps and stamped friend next to the girl on the other tag using the same ink. These other stamps are little tiny, tiny ones that are on sticks. Oh, this is where I added a shadow around the top of the hat so that it stood out more from the background. It was kind of all too matchy-matchy. And then added a very strong white highlight at the top. So, like I said, this is a prompt from a group called Tag It Tuesday on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. You can find it by just searching Tag It Tuesday. If you enjoy making mixed media altered tags, I think she also has an artist trading card challenge. I've never done it, but I do occasionally do the tags. I like to make altered tags. I just think they're fun. And people say, what do you do with them? Well, usually what I do with them is I put them in a business size envelope and send them to people. They make a good bookmark, or you could put a magnet on the back and put them up on your refrigerator because they're just pretty little bits of art that don't take a whole lot of time, but are fun and cute and kind of an alternative to an artist trading card to share with someone. I also put a little bit of color on this felt sticker using a dry brush technique with the worn lipstick colored Distress Oxide. And it warmed up her skin a little bit because it was just the white, just pure white, made it a little bit more dimensional. And I put some splatter with that same Distress Oxide sprayer by just taking it out and using the plastic thing to splatter some pink onto that tag. So here's my colored ribbon, and I decided to put that on both tags and also this piece of kind of olive green sari ribbon, and put those through the holes to add fibers to my tag like I like to do. I think they turned out really cute. It was a fun challenge. There's still plenty grungy to qualify for hashtag AJOS Grunge Revival theme, but they are also pink and green and pretty. And I think the one with the flower and heart could be sent at Valentine's Day to a friend. So I'm cool with that. If you enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up or leave me a comment or question. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want to receive exclusive content that is for members only, you can join membership by clicking the button. It's $1.99 a month in the United States. So that's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.